Apparently you can rotate the gun barrel. Yep. Look at this board we're doing today. Carry Works. This is the designer. Here we go, guys. Here's the board for today. So actually, is this even the right way I'm opening this? So this is the Magnum. As you can see, it is Wild West. Well, not really Wild West. It comes in a nice box. It's priced at $375 to start, I'd say, because I think there's some options you can pick. It also is comprised of 40 pieces, by the way. 40 pieces. When I read that, because at first I saw $375 and I was like, and then when I saw 40 pieces and I looked at all like the construction of the board, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? Like, it's not a board probably for everyone, but it's interesting. So you get a nice little metal carrying case with some egg carton foam here on the top. It's a builder's build. It is an interesting build. I don't think you really need to assemble all that much yourself, but it has some I guess some niceties to it. I believe, so this is the part I didn't really understand. I'm not sure if this is gonna be limited edition, but they are shipping this out as a group buy. I don't know if it's limited to 100. I couldn't find that piece of info. It's gonna be shipping in Q4. It does come with I'd say like a fair amount of cool little things inside the box. So it's gonna be wireless and stuff like that too. I'm not sure if my version today is fully capable of doing that. The battery, you guys can see in here too. It actually is the only battery I've ever seen which kind of has some like theming on it, which doesn't really matter in the long run, but it's an interesting board. It also has some LED indicators on it. We'll take a look at it after we take the box out here. This is the only thing I wasn't a fan of when I was looking at the keyboard, was this particular PCB. This might be a little divisive to some people. I believe this is a 1.2 millimeter flexi cut PCB. This might be a bit of a turnoff for some people. It might be, but I mean, like, you could also really like it. Who knows? What I see, there is an option for non-flex cut PCBs. I'm not sure if this is designed around having a 1.2 mil flex cut PCB. I'm not sure. We'll still use it. You can still pick up them like extra, or you can just default pick one. But today we have a flexi cut one. We'll probably build this a little foamy, which is fine. I don't mind that. Honestly, I've been kind of wanting to build a little bit of a foamier keyboard. There is gonna be a 1.6 mil version of this. We won't get to test that today. We have all the foam, we have screws, we have daughter board here. Daughter board, just so everyone knows, this is not a universal daughter board. This is clearly meant to have the battery plug in, as well as, actually, I'm not too sure if everything plugs into this daughter board, but I guess we'll find that out. But we even have the little LED strip for the indicators on the top. Ooh, the board's actually quite nice. The ano on this, sorry, my fingerprints are on it now. The ano on this is really nice. Like, this is gorgeous ano. Flawless, really. Oh wow, this is pretty nice anodization. We have indicators on the top, which, you know what, I kind of like having those there. That's kind of cool because from my angle, you can just kind of see them. Apparently you can rotate the gun barrel. Yep. The whole board, here, let me tell you guys, it's 40 pieces, like I mentioned before. When I originally saw this board and they told me about it, I was like, damn, $375 for like a gun novelty keyboard, whatever. But later on, when I started reading more of the group buy, and I found out that it was like, I'm not sure if it's 40 on the dot or 40 plus, but there's 40 pieces to this. That's pretty crazy. It does seem like the people who did this really put a lot of time and effort into this. Dude, Bruno, thank you so much for the tier 1. So yeah, it's a nice looking board. Even these all come apart, by the way. Like, this is all, you know, you can disassemble this. I'm not sure if you can like leave bullets in the barrel type thing. So I don't know if they need to be all assembled, but it's an overall like really cool themed build. And I think they did a really good job at doing that. Another little cool part here is, you know, you have your bullets on the side of the board, which is, you know, it's okay. It's interesting for people who are, you know, maybe into this kind of, I kind of think it's like a Western theme, to be honest. I do wish they had some different colors for this board. That is my major complaint as of right now, because they have desert yellow, which I think is on point, dude. They have moonlight silver, which is, I'd say that's okay. The nightshade black is okay. However, I think if they made some sort of like a very dark brown color and just kind of played with like tans and stuff like that, kind of give it that Western vibe, that would have been really cool for this, you know? Really cool. But there's only 3 colors available for this. Again, not too bad. I like what they did with the plate here. I'm not a big fan of these skeleton plates, but I like this. Aesthetically, I like that. Carryworks, Magnum, that is pretty cool over there. It's a hidden screw design. Overall, the theming of the board's pretty cool. Oh, it does look like they gave me 2 different feet options here. This does protrude a little bit from the back, which makes me wonder if these flatter feet will even work. But yeah, the shallow feet actually do work fine with this. I was worried that this would scrape the bottom, but no, we're good. It's not moving anywhere. Cool. I'm gonna disassemble this for now. This is a gasket mounted keyboard, by the way. So we are gonna unscrew the screws right now and just see what's inside. Here, let's play around with this again. Huh. Why is this so... Why is that so satisfying? That's pretty fun. Okay, they nailed the theme. In my opinion, they nailed the theme. It's pretty fun. It's got some diffusers here on the top where the LED indicators are. And this is going to be a gasket, so you have the slip-on sleeves here. And we have some badges on the inside. Oh, I like what they did with this. So they still want you to see the battery, which is cool. I didn't even realize that was on there. I thought that was just a piece of plastic. They have a little acrylic window for the battery. I actually like that a lot. I don't know why. And they didn't make the battery kind of like this bland generic battery too. It does have a little bit of theming on it. You know, kind of has some guns and stuff too to go with this. Is this supposed to be a peace symbol on the inside? I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what this symbol is on the inside supposed to be. Maybe that's the brand's logo. I have no idea. And then you have like a little badge here on the internal as well. I'm assuming if we take this off, you'll probably be able to see all the internals for the... Actually, let's see what it looks like. I'm curious. Oh, this is the whole thing. That's why. Oh, shit. That's cool. Dude, this looks intricate as all hell. How do you even take this apart? I don't know if you can. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Can I just buy this? Very, very interesting. I got my slimy fingerprints all over it. This is so fancy. What the hell? Yeah, you know what? It's kind of growing on me. I like the overall effort they really put into this board. I think it takes a lot for boards to kind of stop me with like gimmicks lately and make me go, oh, that's neat, instead of like, oh, that's kind of gimmicky. But I don't know. I mean, it work if it just like did something weird, like lit up, but it actually works with the theme of the board, which is really cool. So, and then we got a little badge. It says number 38 of 100, limited edition. And it just says Magnum customized keyboard. And just so you guys know too, they're letting me, I think they're letting me keep this. Obviously, eventually I'll probably just give this away with the rest of them. And then we have our skeleton plate. Okay, I might need to go get some screw and stabs for this. But we do have flexi cut PCB today. Bluetooth module here at the bottom. The battery plugs into the daughter board, which, you know what, I kind of prefer. That way there you don't have like all these wires hanging from the PCB. And then for options, we actually have quite a bit of options on this. So we can do ISO, we can do split backspace, split left, caps lock and step caps, different bottom configs. So you know what, props to them. I think the other PCBs can be exactly the same, just minus the flex cuts and thicker. Good for them. They put a lot of options on this. Very, very good for them. So, all right, well, this is interesting. So we got foam. Let's put in some switches. We are gonna use Nixies for this. All right, we have Nixies, foam. I guess we'll just call it a skeleton plate. And we have the flex cut. Crazy thing is, and this is, again, a criticism to anyone who kind of like, this plate doesn't work with the way that the flex cuts are on this PCB. I'll never quite understand it. It does make the whole assembly kind of flexy, I guess. I think if the idea is to have each key be flexy, the plate needs to mimic that. And I think I've only ever seen one company do that, being Owl Labs. But when you have like a standard kind of, even the skeleton plate here, you're kind of losing your individual key flex here, somewhat. Not crap tons of it, but for the most part you are. Actually, yeah, I guess crap tons of it. And I guess we have to do the daughter board and the LED connector here too. Oh, they have a ribbon cable. Oh, you know what? This is a pretty nice way that they're making us install this. It's not super difficult. I adore that, actually. That's nice of them. Hold on, guys. So this piece of the ribbon cable is very stiff, and it's not allowing us to move this down all the way, because the ribbon cable then just gets like pretty much stuck. So here, let me show you guys what I mean. Let me zoom in. So it clearly goes in this way here. We have to kind of push the USB-C connector through the little hole there. However, this piece of the ribbon cable, this little back piece over here is pretty stiff. It doesn't bend. So this stiffer part of the cable is preventing us from doing that. If we take out the cable and go to seat that exact same thing, we can see it then sits flush. I'm gonna just bend it in half. I don't love doing that though. Okay, it goes in. However, I don't like the way that feels. All right, let's just give it a go. So the next step of this is installing this daughter board to the top case. You know what they should have just done? They should have just extended the PCB up a little bit and put LEDs here instead of adding another wire. They had me in the first bit. I like everything else about this board design-wise. I think it's really fun. I mean, it's not terrible. We're getting through it. But again, I'm not in love with the install of this board. Here's the second thing I'm gonna absolutely hate to do. Hot swap socket right in front of where the wire is supposed to go into. All right, now we have this cable, which needs to plug into the top. So what's the expectation here? I guess we just plug it in. That's not that difficult. And then do we just kind of force the cable down? All right, that wasn't that bad to do. I think aesthetics of the board are fun. I think they did a lot of cool things aesthetic-wise where like I can get behind. There's a lot of fingerprints that show up on the black ano. We've got the little bullets over here. It has a nice, it kind of reminds me a bit of a lot of the other boards that kind of have this kind of nice design here on the bottom, this nice curve. We have this really cool weight design here too. I like that. That's really awesome that they did that. Has feet on the bottom, which I thought would kind of be a little bit shallow for this weight because it does protrude outwards, but it ends up being okay. It does seem like the front height is quite tall on this. 21 mil. So this is a bit higher. I just have foam. We are using the Flex Cut PCB, the 1.2 millimeter one, and we do have the aluminum plate for this. It's soft. If your goal is to get a soft keyboard and you like the aesthetic of this board, I agree with Carolina. I think if this was, you know, maybe this is not our preference in sound. I actually don't mind the sound signature with the foam. It is foamier, but I don't mind that. I don't think the alphas are super quiet. I like the sound and feel of the board. I think I personally would have preferred a 1.6 mil PCB so I can just experiment with having foam and no foam, but I don't mind the sound of this at all. Okay, sounds not bad. It does have Bluetooth and wireless. It's a price point at $375. You can have the option for no extra cost to go for 1.6 mil PCB. Again, design-wise, it's fun. I like it. One little grievance I do have with the design, one small grievance. It says Magnum here, and then they put Magnum right here. Also, the black one is a fingerprint Magnum. So it says Magnum and then Magnum. I would limit that to one Magnum. You don't need it in two spots, especially so close together. I think get rid of this one here on the bottom and then leave this one here on the top, personally. Or again, the opposite, whatever you want to do. I don't know if it needs both. And then it does say 65 bullets over here, which is a little smaller. I don't mind that one there. The seam on the board is very non-visible. You can barely see it. Internals of the board. The gasket mount, I think they did well. It feels like a good gasket mount. They're doing that very well. I like the socks that they use for that. The daughter board, regardless of whether or not this worked or not, okay? Regardless of whether or not this didn't break or whatever, maybe we broke it, I have no idea. I do not like the fact that it comes with a ribbon cable that you are forced to bend in half. I would completely X this cable entirely and just go with a magnetic pogo connector or go with some sort of JST connector. I don't love the way that the daughter boards connect it to the top frame, but then makes you connect the daughter to the daughter board. It's a bit awkward. And then the screwless design, I don't think personally screwless designs are my cup of tea these days. I personally, from an aesthetic standpoint, don't think this board would have been hurt in any sort of way having 4 screws. I think it would have added to this aesthetic personally. You know, we have other boards who are doing press and feet nowadays, and they're fantastic. It's such a beautiful looking keyboard at the end of the day. Like they nailed some of the design aspects. I love this. Such a cool aspect of the keyboard, but I do think the internals need a little bit of cleaning up. Sound-wise, I don't think this is bad. I actually don't mind the 1.2 mil PCB and flex cuts and foam. I think it's fun. I think it looks nice. Or sorry, it sounds nice. Fix the inside of that daughter board, how this all connects, and this is a fun board at the end of the day. Obviously, I think it could be improved by not having this screwless design, but the one thing. So, see you guys. Take care. Love ya. Bye-bye.